Hello lads and ladies, and welcome to this and welcome back for another video on the channel. Today we are looking at Matchday 2 in Sky Bet League 1. Another 12 games coming up this weekend after a frantic first week of action. We predicted some right results last week. We predicted Wycombe to beat Burton. We got a couple wrong, obviously. That's going to happen. We thought Exeter will beat Charlton, ended up in a 2-2 draw. We got the Plymouth score correct. We got them to beat Barnsley. However, Forest Green shocked us and beat Bristol. Rovers, Vale shocked us and beat Fleetwood. Anyone beating Fleetwood is that much of a shock anymore? We're going to predict Matchday 2 in the league. I want to know your predictions down below. Smash all your predictions in and we'll have a look on Sunday, Monday, see how many we both get. Also, like this video, it does help a lot. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Let's start. Barnsley against Cheltenham now. Now, Barnsley lost last week. Cheltenham lost last week. Cheltenham were 2-0 up. Alfie May's up and running, which is good news for him. Again, Duff managing against his old club, his first home game in charge. It is a bit of a deja vu and a bit of a nice sentiment to get started, but it's a tricky game. I think Barnsley will have enough. I think it'll be a very tight game, but I think Barnsley will just win it 2-1. Cheltenham have always got goals in them, and they're going to look a threat. Bolton against Wycombe. Now, I went to this game last year and Wycombe won 2-0. Grimmer and Brandon Hanlon scored on the night. Two sides that should be looking to finish in the top 6. Two sides that I think are equally matched. But with Bolton at home, I thought they were quite lucky to get a point the other day. But a point away at Ipswich is a vital point. And not many teams will come away with that at the end of the year. And that just shows you the type of squad that they've got there. I think Bolton will win that 2-1. 3 points on the board. A buzzing Macron on week 1. Burton against Bristol Rovers. Now, both sides lost last weekend. Burton look probably the poorest side in the division, and anyone's going to do a crew this year, it's more than likely going to be Burton. They lack goals, they lack creativity, they lack options. It looks like Tom Hamer's leaving the football club, which is a big loss for them. Bristol Rovers were poor last weekend, but Bristol Rovers always bounce back and they get stronger as seasons go on. So I do think they'll win this game. I think they'll win it 1-0, tight away from home. I just think while Burton haven't got any goals in them, I think teams are going to go there and win most weeks. For me, one of the games of the week, Charlton against Derby. 3,000 Rams are travelling up to the Vale. Now, the Vale is a fortress at times. They were unlucky to only get a point. They scored in the 92nd minute away at Accrington. And then 90 plus 6, 2-2. Derby won by a goal to nil. Conor Hourihane, who is up there with one of the best players in this division, along with Barry Bannon for me, with that quality. He's won promotion out of this league before with Barnsley 7 years ago now, a long time ago. But Derby, good side against Charlton. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, and I think it's going to be a tightly anticipated game. It's going to be one of those games where you look back on it. Both sides could probably have 3 points, but they settled for the 1. Next up, Exeter against Port Vale. Now, Port Vale beat Exeter 1-0 last season to confirm that they got into the playoffs. And that was a good win for them. That's when Exeter's demise of not winning the league title really happened. They were unlucky, but Port Vale were good last weekend. They got into the shape well, and they're going to win more games than they lose, in my opinion. They're going very much under the radar for me. I think Darrell Glock's a good manager. I thought Exeter were outstanding to a man at Lincoln. Sam Nomber's going to be a massive player for them. But I think it's going to be a draw, this one. 1-1, a really decent game between two sides that need points early on if they're going to stay up, because I don't see all four staying up that came up. Next up, Fleetwood against Plymouth. Now, I think Plymouth are one of the best sides in the division with their squad. They've lost hardly anyone but added players. Mikael Miller, Matt Butcher was excellent last weekend. Azaz was outstanding, scored a brilliant goal. They played with energy, they played with enthusiasm. They look like the Plymouth of the first 41 games of last year. Just the last 5 games they fell apart. Fleetwood were good for 20 minutes until they got the goal. Fleetwood at home were a different animal, but I do back a Plymouth winner. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory away from home. A good 1,000 travelling up, making the 650-mile round trip. For me, Plymouth have one of the best supports in the EFL. The distances that they travel and the numbers that they do and the noise that they make is phenomenal support. And the Pilgrims are going to win at Highbury by 2-0. Next up, Forest Green Rovers against Ipswich. Now, so far, all the games are really close. Now, last year, Charlton beat Ipswich 2-1 early in the season when you thought Ipswich would go there and win. I think this is a must-win for Ipswich because the longer they don't go and get a win, the more the pressure builds. And we saw how it's been like that at Portsmouth Road over the last few years. They need to get off to a good start because they can string wins together. It's just, can they do it if they go 5-6 points behind really early on? I do think they're going to beat Forest Green. I think they're going to win it 2-0, but it's going to be a tight game. Forest Green are a good side. They beat Bristol Rovers for a reason with 2 very good goals. The winner was an absolute pearler and probably a goal of the season contender already in Matchday 1. Next up, MK Dons against Sheffield Wednesday. The big games keep coming. This was one of the best games of last year. It was played over the Easter weekend. Wednesday scored 3 in the first 30-35 minutes, and Barry Bannon scored the goal of the season that got nominated. For me, I still think that was probably the second or the third best goal behind Burton Selina against Crewe and Cole Stockton against Fleetwood. But it was still a very good goal, and they won 3-2. They took 6,000 fans on a Saturday night. Unbelievable support. They'll take similar on Saturday. It's going to be a good game, but I back Wednesday to win this one 1-0. I think MK Dons are on a bit of a hangover at the moment, and they've got a good squad, but I think it could take some time for it to really click in. Next up, Oxford against Cambridge. Oxford are starting to add players. They just added Lewis Batty from Leeds. Good signing. I think they still lack depth. Brannigan signed a new deal. I reckon Oxford will win this one because they're at home, and that's why they've been into the playoffs and they've been challenging in the last few years. I reckon they've got this one 2-0. Peterborough against Morecambe. Now, Morecambe-Shrewsbury was probably the worst game in League One last weekend. No real creativity, no real chances. And Morecambe haven't had a great pre-season. And although that doesn't mean a lot, it can kind of sometimes mean something. Peterborough were awesome at home a few years ago. They score goals for fun. And I think they're going to win this one 3-0. I think Morecambe are going to have to be strong defensively. I only see Morecambe getting 1 or 2 chances, but I see Peterborough getting 6 or 7. And with Jack Marriott and Johnson Clark-Harris, players of those quality, I only see it going one way. They have lost Smoddock, so there's a gap that they're going to need replacing, but a big fee there. Morecambe are going to need to rely on Cole Stockton and that defensive line on Saturday. Next up, Portsmouth against Lincoln, the Danny Cowley derby. Again, Portsmouth were good last weekend, deserved a 3-3 draw, showed that fighting spirit, but Lincoln also did that as well. Portsmouth have nearly sold out. There's going to be 18,000 fans out, which is an unbelievable support. They've got obviously the new little bits of seats in to increase the capacity. So for me, I reckon Portsmouth are going to win this one 2-0. It's going to be a real tight game, but Portsmouth at home should be beating most sides in this division. And if they want to get into the top 6, they're going to have to be the Fratton Park as it was 4 or 5 years ago. Hostile, nobody wants to go to. And at the end of the day, you just know you're going to get beat. And they know that Fratton Park is the hardest place in League One to go to. And that starts Saturday. Lincoln are a good side, but I don't think they're a match for this Portsmouth side. Next up, Shrewsbury against Accrington, the last fixture that we're going to predict. Shrewsbury again were poor last weekend, but last year were good at home, were nice and steady at home, most of the points coming at home. 2 Lancashire outfits to playing in 2 match days. Accrington better at home than they are away. I do think Shrewsbury win this 2-1. I've gone for a goal pretty much in every game. The most likely to be a 0-0, I think, is Derby Charlton, but I'll go with a scoring draw, shall we say. I just think that for me, it's going to be a tightly anticipated game and Shrewsbury will just get through it. Thank you very much for watching today's video. I hope you did enjoy it. Please remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Your liking the video and commenting down below really helps us out a lot, getting new viewers onto the channel every single week. We are doing matchday vlogs till the end of the season and also League One roundups and League One predictions every week. So get subscribed for that. Leave yours down below. If you are new to the channel, please remember to like and subscribe. Again, lots of action coming, lots of big games coming in. You see some of the big games that are coming, you know, Bolton, Wycombe. You've got MK Dons, Sheffield Wednesday. You've got Peterborough, Morecambe, a tie at both ends. They're just some of the mouth-watering ties. Let us know your game of the week and your score prediction down below. Until next time, I will see you later up the Sky Bet League One.